My name is Lieutenant Colonel Brian Lovelace. I'm the commander of the 802nd Security Forces Squadron here at Lackland Air Force Base. And I want to give you a brief synopsis of why we're all here today. Ultimately, at about 11:50 early this afternoon or morning, we heard a call come into our dispatch of possible gunshots fired from an off-base perimeter location, allegedly coming into the installation at one of our facilities on the installation. So ultimately we responded as appropriately and didn't determine anything up front, but upon further review and investigation, we're trying to investigate a couple of leads right now to confirm gunshots actually did take place on the installation. Now I'm happy to report that no matter what happened, no injuries have been reported. We do have a couple of leads on what occurred that we're investigating right now. So again, once again, no injuries reported, and we are investigating certain leads and trying to confirm whether gunshots actually did occur from off the installation. I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Is it possible this is a false alarm?
We're investigating that right now, sir. So there's a couple of leads right now we're working right now to kind of confirm exactly what occurred, but we do have some solid reports that 2 gunshots were fired into the installation.
Did anybody see any people?
About shots being fired.
Did anybody see any people?
No reports of anybody visually seen shooting firearms from off the installation, but again, we're following up on leads.
There was originally a report of 2 shooters. Is that still the case then?
Not confirmed right now, sir. We're still investigating that.
Who will tell you shots were fired? You had guards 24 hours a day over here in the perimeter. So who will tell you that shots were being fired?
Anybody can call in a report of gunshots being fired to our dispatch. It could be somebody working on the installation. It could be our gate guards. But we did hear a report of gunshots fired from an on-base installation nearby.
And Lieutenant Colonel, what is your procedure for this type of situation? I mean, everybody's in fear out here. Traffic is backed up.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel like this was appropriate, or did you overreact to the situation?
No, ma'am, I don't think there was an overreaction. I think anytime we hear reports of gunshots fired on the installation, I mean, look, this is the center of basic military training. We take it very seriously. There's a lot of facilities on this installation that are very important to the Air Force, and we have to take every report seriously. Now, I would rather overreact to something than underreact and get it right. We can triage whether or not we responded appropriately later on, but as of right now, I am 100% confident we made the appropriate response and made all the right calls along the way.
Do you have a facility on base that is surrounded at this time, or the center of activity?
Surrounded, sir? Can you repeat the question?
Do you have a facility on base that's right now surrounded, the center of any activity, that kind of
No,
thing?
we initially went into lockdown, kept people in place on the installation to limit the traffic. Right now, all traffic has been released with the exception of this gate right here. So people are free to move about the installation. Nobody's on lockdown, nobody's shelter in place. So we've returned basically to normal operations, sir.
Is this investigation being led by you or SAPD, or who's leading this investigation?
Right, so any situation that deals with both jurisdictions, both off and on base, we rely heavily on our off-base local police departments to cover down on the jurisdictional properties off base. In this case, SAPD, DPS, and Bexar County Sheriff's Office provided tremendous support for our off-base support, investigated all leads we needed them to, and provided us valuable information to respond appropriately.
Are they still going on? Are they still going on? I mean, is this an
No, as I said to the previous gentleman, we're closing down the scene. We're following up on some leads that we need to. But as of right now, there is no lockdown on JBSA-Lackland, and SAPD and all our local partners have been called to other duties, sir.
Is there any shots believed to have come from, sir?
One at a time, please.
Where are the shots believed to have come from?
Off base right now, sir. The location is still under review.
Was there any kind of drill on base or any kind of activity on base that could have been mistaken for gunshots coming from a different direction? No.
We've heard I think the reason Jay's asking that is because we've heard a couple of people mention, they heard something about the PX. Is that involved in any way?
No, the BX is not in this vicinity, sir.
So the traffic is out here. When can they be expected to go back inside the base?
We'll make that determination when I'm clear for this press conference, sir.
So it's still ended.
No, every gate on this installation that was normally open before the alleged shooting is now open with the exception of this gate right behind me.
So earlier you said, and I know you just mentioned this, 2 suspected shooters, and right now you're saying you're not sure exactly how many or if any shots were fired.
Ma'am, we don't have a confirmed count on whether it was 1 or 2 shooters. We don't have that right now. Like I said before, we're following up on some leads to try to determine whether or not that was factual.
And how many shots were fired reported?
Right now, reported just 2.
Was that reported by trainees inside the fence? Somebody who actually reported the shots fired?
Right now, we're working on getting those interviews right now, but it was reported by the nearest building that could allegedly hear those gunshots, sir.
And were the shots is that believed to have come from this general area?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, can you give us any indication on which of these facilities? I mean, we got a taqueria, hotel, all this jazz.
I cannot, sir. There's a lot of facilities around here, and I appreciate the question, and I guarantee you we're going to try to figure that out soon.
So the building that's in question, was this a regular commercial building, or was it something tied to JBSA?
Every installation inside our perimeter is tied to JBSA, so it was reported at one of the facilities nearby the perimeter.
So nearby, so outside of JBSA?
Yes, gunshots coming from outside JBSA.
So, but the report so you said one of the buildings reported, somebody in one of the buildings, so was that building within the perimeter of JBSA?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we're going to have to get ready to wrap up. Colonel Lovelace still has quite a bit of phone calls that he needs to engage with in order to continue the investigation and determine whether lockdown, whether the gate situation is ready to be reevaluated. So if you have 1 or more questions, we have about 2 more minutes.
I just want to confirm that your reports of whoever heard the shots, it was someone on the base that heard the shots.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they heard 2, that's it.
Yes, sir.
Was it more than one person that heard them? Was it a group of people that heard them?
We're trying to confirm that right now, sir.
And then, can you tell us about the decision to call it an active shooter lockdown at that point, based on just, possibly 2 shots heard?
Yeah. So, in the moment calls are taken for any types of shots fired, we like to at least ease our way into it with some kind of speed, right? So. While efficient, we have to take every call seriously, as I said before, and there's a method to doing that. And again, the appropriate response that we wanted to see was actually delivered today. And I would close by saying that not only our response was perfect, but I appreciate the response from all our local and off-base agencies, to include SAPD, Bexar County Sheriff's Office, Texas Department of Public Safety. They all came when the call was put out, and we can't do our job as efficiently without their support and the city's support as well. So while our defenders on the installation did exactly what they needed to do, kept everybody safe, took the appropriate response, put themselves in a line of danger, and ultimately safed the perimeter and made sure we can continue our very critical operations on JBSA. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to address this situation, and have full confidence that security forces, JBSA-Lackland, has this under control. And any further follow-on leads will be presented through our public affairs. Any follow-up questions that you have, you can contact JBSA-Lackland Public Affairs, and we'll do our best to provide you with a prompt response.